I'm in the chair before the bell, watching the overnight chop breathe in a shoebox. 2 taps on yesterday's high and a sulk back to the middle. A stiet for arguments, not answers. The open hits like cymbals. Bar 1 charges up the aisle, closes yesterday's gap, wicks, then keeps marching. Bold, bright, a hero monologue about new highs. I whisper the obvious. Too far from the average, too proud, too soon. It kisses yesterday's high anyway and grins at the crowd. Bar 2 rips the grin off. A red rebuttal, midpoint taken, conviction leaking. Double top whispers float down from the balcony. If we're going to be a range, this is what the first act looks like. Both sides talking over each other and nobody leaving their seat. Bars 3 and 4 are hung juries, dojis that almost say something. Everyone leans forward for a verdict. All we get is more information needed. By 5 and 6, the case file is thicker but not clearer. Range glue, Hope checks its watch. Then bar 7, big red. Below the moving average, sound of chairs scraping the floor. Bar 8 pops back as a green doji, promising follow-through. It doesn't deliver. 9 and 10 wobble at the low of day, reverse into a shrug. The tape has teeth, but it's chewing air. Bar 11 decides to mean it. Strong bull closes at its high, and bar 12 immediately forgets what meaning was and closes a doji. On paper, always in, could be long now. On the screen, it's still a cafeteria food fight. The market remembers how to climb at 13 and 14. 2 clean greens, 4 up in a row into the old ceiling. Close above it, I bargain. Close like you mean it and don't look back. Bar 14 obliges at the high, second chance at glory, and bar 15 swats it, a bear bar that says gaps don't stay open on range days. The music swells, the dancers miss a step. 16 rallies hard and almost makes me believe. 17 reminds me that ranges are sticky, they pull at your sleeves. 18 rings the bell on an old statistic. By now we've probably seen the day's high or low. It feels both profound and useless at the same time. 19 and 20 tilt the board green again. You can buy for any reason, the inner voice says. Then 21 barks a sharp bear close and 22-23 muddle it straight back to indecision. 24 surges, be long or be quiet. 26 slaps it. They've stalled over and over. 28 and 29 lift again. 30 fails above the high and signs the guest book. Real trading range day. Midday walks in with heavy shoes. 32 tells me to find something else to do. Bears get a little victory march at 35 and 36. Clean follow-through, but even they seem bored winning. 37 through 39 stall at the average. 40th tries to make something of it, attacks the high, and 41 immediately undercuts with tepid follow-through. Looks great for bulls, I note, but this is still a range. 42 answers decisively. Strong bear closing the gap, exit stage left. The afternoon flirts with stories it doesn't intend to finish. 43 closes high and disappoints the shorts. 44 calls it a trap. 45 closes on its low, and suddenly the bears are the ones delivering lines cleanly. 46 wipes back a big green balanced cast, applause from the bulls, and 48 telegraphs the doubt. Wedges everywhere, too many watchers to reward late buyers. 49 writes bear in ink. Then 54, big red, breaks the dawn, and hunts. For a second, I feel the day might finally confess. 58 pops a range break but can't climb above its own midpoint. The late bars flicker, green, red, green, doji, like house lights blinking to tell you it's time to go home. I end flat, not because there were no trades, but because most of them wanted me to pretend a range was a trend. The tape never put down its neutral mask for long. Every bold act got its mirror image. If you survived the whipsaw and kept your powder dry for the few clean swings, you won something better than points. You won a clean head for tomorrow. Curtain. Based on your bar notes export TXT 94-2025 log.
All right, guys, so you just heard that whole thing being read to you. Go back and watch it again. Give me a like if you enjoy this. This is a bar notes tool that allows you to track your trading in real time. I kind of previewed it the other day. Let's collapse them all. So I started here on bar 0, which was the pre-market, and this is what I put for the pre-market. And I can expand this and overlay it next to the chart. And so what this does is it allows me to track my thinking in real time. Okay, it allows me to see how I'm thinking about everything in real time, and it allows me to go back and see who was winning. So I'm going to give you this here. So let's go to bar one. All of these timestamps here in bar one. Let's zoom in a little bit for people on their phones. Um, all of this in bar one. Okay, you see the time that I entered it. After this bar one closes, which is between 8:30 and 8:34:59, a second before, you know, the 5 minute, right before it closes, all of this that I entered is green. When I enter something after the bar closes, it's highlighted in yellow, and it shows me that it's late. And that's why I didn't think of this while the bar was forming. I thought of it later. And you can see when you produce the report at the end, it has late written on there. Okay, so it's really easy for you to go through, look at all of these, and see how it's doing. A couple other features that I haven't really talked about is you're trading a day and you're mentioning a lot of the same words. Like today, I mentioned trading range a lot, so I'm going to type in trading range. I mentioned trading range on all these bars here. Okay, see 2 matches there, 1 match there, but I can filter them off, and it'll only show me the bars that I mentioned that on. And then I can go and deep dive into the bars chart. I can dive into the bars price action. I can dive into everything that I thought about that bar when it was forming. Okay, so that's another cool feature. There's also the export feature. This is what I'm really excited about using more of. I talk a lot about limit bulls, stop bulls, limit bears, all that stuff. So this tracks that for me. And all I have to do is make sure that I choose the color that the candle closed. And then when I close the candle, it asks me whether it's neutral or whether it's bearish or whether it's bullish. So this little panel over here, okay, limit bear, stop bear, limit bull, stop bull. Last 20 bars, this is what they were, okay. Last 20 bars, 10 of them were red, 10 of them were bull. 1 of them was 7 of them were bear, 8 were doji, and 10 were trend bar, according to all of this. So let me show you what happens to this when I add a box. So I'm going to add a box. When I add a box up here, it's going to ask me what is this last box. So let's keep it the right way here. So it's going to ask me what was this bar here. So I'm going to put add bar up here. It's going to say how did the most recent bar complete the close. That's how it's calculating limit, stop, all that stuff, okay? Because if it's a bear close and the next bar is a bull bar, that's a limit order because the bulls waited until the bears closed the bar on its low and they bought at the limit. Does that make sense? All right, so let's just say it's going to ask me if it's a doji or trend or somewhere in between. I've used this once today, but I'm going to say it was a trend bar. And now you see it's going to update, and it's going to show me at the start of this bar, okay, this was who was in charge here. All right, and now you see it's a little bit balanced if you look at it that way. There's been 5 and 5, but stop bears have not made money at all in the last 10 bars. So if you tried to be a stop bear here, you were toast, okay? So that's one thing that it does. It asks me, so now if you look at this, I'm going to do it while we have the paint out. I'm going to make this red. But if I go and I change any of these to green or red, let's say I mismarked this and it was green. Look at how the last 20 bars is going to change here. Let me make it in the last 20 bars. Let's say this is red. You see how they change, how all the metrics change. So you're tracking this stuff, okay? But the important thing is when you're using this to make sure that when you ask for a new bar, you already have this bar marked, which you should because you're asking for a new bar because that bar is closed. So you know whether it's red, you know whether it's a doji. So let's just show you how all this changes when I go. So right now, limit bulls, stop bulls are tied, okay? Limit bears are not far behind though, right? But so let's see what would happen now. So I have a red bar, okay? If a bull comes and buys this, that's a limit bull. So if I make this green, limit bull should go up. And it did, it went up to 6. See that? Make it neutral, went up to 6. If I make it red, the stop bear goes down. The stop bear changes. It gets its first tick. Why? Because red bar is a bear selling the low of a bear bar. That's a stop bear. He's betting on continuation and momentum. So I'm going to make it neutral. So if I mark this now and I say, okay, this was green, it's going to give the limit bear the lead. So when I initiate this next candle, when I initiate this next bar, it's going to already know that going into this bar, stop bulls were in the lead. So let me do that. Add a bar. It was a trend bar. Oh, limit bulls, sorry. So now it knows limit bulls. See, red to green, limit bulls. So now it knows limit bulls are in the lead. See? Okay, and that's how it was on this. And you can see I can change it here. Okay, so it's really cool. It's really neat. I am going to share it with you guys. I'm adding a few more features. Let me pause it and show you the new version. Hold on. All right. So here is a video of, this is how it looks when it starts out. Okay, so initializes blank. In order to get it started, you got to add a bar. So let's add a bar. It's going to ask you what number to start with. I number the bars based on the day. So whatever part I sit down at, that's what I'm starting at. Yesterday, you watched yesterday's video. I didn't get to the computer till like bar 6. So that's what I put. But today I got it before the market. So I put bar 0 so that I could put pre-market stuff here, and that's what you saw in the first one. So I put bar 0, okay? I'm going to add a chart here, and I'm going to show you why. So I'm going to upload a chart here. So let's say I go in Snap. Let's just take today's chart, okay? Now today's chart is in here. Okay, I'm going to put things about bar 0. Just say blah, 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 blah. And now I want a chart. I want to go to the chart. So I'm going to click chart, and these are the new features that I'm working on. That's why I haven't released it yet. So this allows me to kind of mark up the chart a little bit before I put it in the thumbnail. Okay, and this goes to all the reports. So right now I could have saw, okay, that was there. Put another line there. Looks like more like a little wedge there. You can just mark up things, and I can add text, wedge. So if I mention wedge and I'm going back through, I can add text, to make it make sense to me. Okay. And then I can come and select that area here, select it, use selection, and now it's part of my picture. So when I go in now, I have this is what I saw and what I was looking at. So that is what I'm working on. I think that's it. Oh, and when you export this, your annotated picture should also be in the inline. So there it is. All right. So I'm probably going to release it soon. I don't think I'm going to charge for it. But it's really been helping me, and I've just been so calm sitting here just entering all this and trading. Like, it's just been so calm and freeing. So I want to share that with you guys. All right, see you in the next one. Let me know if you want it. Bye.